you doing?
Did you go to? Yeah, you don't hear. These are the ones that control the sound in here.
Oh, okay, and they're green, so let's
Yep.
go. huh?
Yep.
Mhm.
This is for your television audience.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get going with the agenda for the West Haymarket Joint Public Agency meeting today. My name is Chris Beitler, and I'm joined today by Carl Eskridge and Tim Clare, and together we form the board of the West Haymarket Joint Public Agency, and we welcome you all to the meeting. First of all, I should point out that notice of open meetings law is posted back by the entryway for those of you who may be interested. I need to also indicate to you that the rule that we follow with regard to public comment and time limit notifications indicates that all individuals in the audience are invited to testify on specific items listed on today's agenda. And we ordinarily give each person at least 5 minutes to speak. We just ask that those speaking identify themselves for the official record. With that, gentlemen, unless you have preliminary comments, we will move ahead to agenda item number 3, which is approval of the minutes from the JPA meeting held July 28th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye, or call the roll.
Yeah. Took your job away.
Beitler,
Yes,
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
the minutes are approved. Agenda item number 4, approval of July and August 2016 payment registers. Steve Hupka will be explaining those to us.
Yes, we have the July payment register for the operating budget, $706,519.60. One of the big items in there that's a little bit unusual from every month is that's our annual payment of the pre-open loan to SMG, $303,000. And all those other expenditures, with maybe the exception of the payment to the university. $170,020 for basketball tickets. Everything else is very routine at the monthly payments. And down on the lower half of that, for phase 1 budget, $378,672.97. The bulk of that is made up of 2 payments of $179,400 to Ed Carpenter for the art piece that was recently dedicated. And over to the, I guess I'll go through the payment register for August. $497,192.81 for the operating budget. The only little bit unusual item there is the payment to Speedway Properties for the subflooring, the portable subflooring that was used for roller skating and will be used by the JPA. It's $127,260. And then in the phase one budget, there's two large payments, and that's both for work being done on the Alder South properties. And it makes up a huge majority of the $1,358,709 for the month of August.
Okay. There questions to Steve?
The amount paid for the subflooring, we didn't specifically plan on that, but that was an expense that we incurred that was within our budget to do so.
Yes, and you had modified this 15-16 budget to cover that. This
Right.
was paid out of that month.
Okay.
Of August.
And then the return on that, do we have any ideas from, on the roller skating event, what the return on that would be approximately?
The economic return?
Yeah.
Well, it was in the millions of dollars to the community, financial activity.
Okay.
And I think the word I got from Tom Lorenz was that floor worked out extremely well for the event it was held, or bought for, and will be of use to JPA and through the arena and Haymarket Bowl.
Yeah.
Carl?
I had a question about the payments to Ed Carpenter for the art piece. I see later on with a report coming up that there's a available balance in the art area for $158,000.
Mark Lycom informed me that was, I think, site preparation and fabrication of the piece itself.
Okay. Have we paid everything?
I don't,
How-
if it's showing on there that we haven't, then no, we wouldn't have made the final payment yet.
Okay.
Now, it may have been made in September, so by now it may have been made,
Right.
but not as of the end of August.
Okay. Thank you.
Additional questions? Public comment on question of the payment registers. Anybody wish to testify? All right, if not, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the payment registers for July and August of 2016. Any further comment? Call the roll.
Beitler,
Yes?
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
Payment registers are approved. Steve, you gonna take us through the July and August expenditure reports?
Yeah, I would, I guess, not say a whole lot about those other than they reflect the activity that was shown on the payment register. And we will be bringing forward, which was originally listed as agenda item number 9. We're asking you to delay that, which would make some adjustments in the program budget for the next period of time. So we'll be bringing that forward next month. That'll adjust a few of the budget numbers on these expenditure reports.
Okay. Questions? Is there public comment on agenda item number 5? Seeing none, and I think no vote is required on this, so we'll move on to agenda item number 6, WH 1610, the BKD, the resolution to approve the letter agreement to engage BKD. And you don't look like Steve Hupka.
No, but he moved back, so I assumed it was my turn.
Please identify yourself for the record.
I'm Robin DeVore, I'm an audit partner with BKD.
Okay, go ahead.
And what you have, I think in your packet is our standard engagement letter for an audit of the West Haymarket JPA. The fees in this engagement letter are in accordance with our audit proposal that we gave you in 2015. The rest of the engagement letter is a standard document as far as responsibilities for us, and happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Questions, comments? Thank you. Is there public comment on this particular item? If not, is there a motion to approve
So
WH
moved.
1610? It's been moved.
Second.
It's seconded. Any further comment? Please call the roll.
Beitler?
Yes,
Estes?
Yes.
Claire?
Yes.
resolution is advanced. Item number 7, and you wanted to take that together with item number 8, Steve, did you?
Yes, please.
All right,
That's okay.
without objection, we'll just take them together.
What we have is a proposed operating budget for the year beginning September 1st, 2016 through August 31st, 2017. We've got on the sheet there the adopted budget from the prior year, proposed budget for the following year. I would point out that of the approximately $24 million budget for each of those years, about 2/3 of that is related to debt service, which we have known for several years. I know those amounts through 2046 for each year going forward. I would direct your attention to the bottom third of the page where it says total services went up from $6.5 million to roughly $7.3 million. The bulk of that, in fact, all of it, can be accounted for with the adoption of the CIP program, and that shows up in the budget under maintenance and capital improvement program. It went from $150,000 to $925,000. And that is the other agenda item, the second agenda item that has that capital improvement program on it. And we've got, Don Hurst has been working on that through his contract with the JPA. He's had 2 or 3 meetings with Tom Lorenz and Fred Brown and others at the arena. You might remember a year ago when Venue Solutions Group prepared a report. They recommended a capital replacement program be adopted and put in place. And it was something at that time that we hadn't gotten around to because the building was a year newer at that time. But we've got this capital improvement budget which shows $925,000 of items in the first year. Going forward, it varies from year to year, but those are guesses to some degree, but also educated guesses. We're proposing in a resolution that accompanies the operating budget that whatever isn't spent in that first year be reappropriated in the future years. So it's kind of an ongoing thing, similar to what we do with the city. I think it's a significant step forward in financial planning for the JPA that we've accounted for this. Something that has been in Don's cash flow model from the very beginning, roughly 1.3 to 1.5 million set aside per year in the cash flow model. And again, cash flow will vary some because capital improvements and repairs and replacements tend to vary in amount, in big amounts sometimes. For example, you'll see that every 5th year or so we have to seal the parking garage floors. That's $1 million and more. And at some point in time, we'll have to replace the scoreboard and ribbon boards and way out in the future, a roof. So those are in here. They likely won't happen in exactly the year that they're showing now, but this will be adjusted every year. So I think, again, once again, it's a significant step forward in financial planning for the upkeep of the arena, and the bondholders want to see that the asset we're borrowing money for is kept up as well as the rating agencies. So there's more than one reason for doing this, and obviously we want to have a first-class facility for years to come. So that's the biggest single change in the budget. We've got the source of funds on the second page. where money funds this budget from. On the third page, as we've had for a couple of years, is an identification of the revenues, what they're from and where they go, and what legal authority is used to allocate those revenues. So with that, I'd open it to any questions you might have.
Are there questions?
Steve, on the personnel costs, I know in the past we've allocated dollars to use the city attorney's office, for example, the city controller, and so on. Do we know exactly the time element the time that these different individuals are in fact using, or is it more of a budgeted guesstimate as to what that amount would be?
At this point, it's more of a budgeted estimate. I think when JPA was originally set up, the agreement was that the new positions that were added would be funded out of the JPA. Now, there's a lot of city staff that spends time on JPA-related matters that aren't on here. It'd be kind of difficult to track, for example, all the time the mayor spends on the JPA matters, and I spend and numerous other people. But I did have, just a couple hours ago, a conversation with Don Hers about this subject, and I think he'll be meeting with you to discuss some alternatives
Yeah.
related to this.
Okay. I just think on both sides,
Yeah.
on the city side and on the JPA side, that we need to know, is that an accurate figure? If I'm the mayor, I want to know, is more of the city's law department being used to do legal work, for example, than they're getting compensated for? Similarly, if this is being paid out of JPA revenues, I would say that we've got a fiduciary duty to make sure that our money is being well spent. So I'd like to maybe try to dig down into that a little bit with Don in the months and years
Good.
ahead.
I would admit it's an imperfect system at this point.
What?
I don't know if Don's wanting years, but we'll see.
Well, I know he's not,
Okay.
since tomorrow's his last day. But anyway, I think that would be I'd like to engage in a little dialogue there.
Fair request.
All right. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I think one thing I pondered about in an earlier discussion with you, Steve, was the question of staggering out expenses. And I guess as I think about it now, with, for example, if you're sealing garages, it probably makes sense that you do all that work at the same time when you have the people in to do it. So there's some economies of doing certain things all at the same time. So I don't, just, people that manage the place know the best way to do that.
Don spent a fair amount of time with Wayne Mixdorf to talk about those kinds of subjects, so
Okay.
it's the best guess at this point.
Yeah.
And Tim, I think you had asked me about where we stand with the occupation tax. We finished up the fiscal year with a 6.1% increase over the prior fiscal year. And for the calendar year, we're up 5.9%, so right about the same number. And we're at a dollar amount of collections that was what we submitted to the state as our financial plan. That number wasn't projected until 2027. So another good year.
Thank you.
All right. Other questions? Is there public comment on either agenda item number 7, the operating budget, or 8, the capital improvement program? If so, please come forward. Okay, with that then, let's go ahead and, unless you gentlemen have further comments, go ahead and vote on, let's just take them separately. Agenda item number 7, WH 1611, the operating budget. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve. Further comment? Call the roll.
Feiler,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
It is adopted. Agenda item number 8, WH 16-12, the resolution with regard to the capital improvement program. Is there
So
further
moved.
comment? The motion to approve? Seconded?
Second.
Okay. Further comment? Call the roll.
Feiler,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
It is approved. Agenda item number 9 is being withdrawn at this time for presentation in the future. Agenda item number 10, WH 16-14, resolution relating to the agreement for environmental remediation consulting services. Adam?
Yes, Adam Holbeiner with Project Control on PC Sports. The contract is the environmental contract, the design work as far as environmental with Alfred Benish we've held for several years, and it's amending 2 different tasks that they have. One is the on-site oversight of the ultra remediation we're currently undergoing, and one is a new task, which is doing the final remediation or remedial action plan for that site. Little history behind the increase on the oversight is when we originally started that project, it was primarily environmental based. And when we started looking at the geotechnical side of making sure that a building could be built on that site in the future, it involved more environmental oversight than what initially was projected, because every time we dug out of that soil, because it was impacted by materials that had to be handled certain ways, we had to have somebody on site to watch how that material was handled and make sure it was hauled out to the landfill. So we kind of had to have an individual from the environmental team overseeing it. So overall, of course, the project that did add some increase. We wanted to see kind of how everything panned out and make sure we didn't overestimate what was needed for this work. So that's kind of how we ended up with the number here. Early projections were higher. And also what we did was we went back through the Benish contract on tasks that were completed and looked for savings. I think we found 13,000 to 14,000 in savings of other tasks that were completed, because these contracts are all not to exceed an hourly based. So overall, the net add on the oversight work is $38,966.61. And then to do the final remediation action report for task 33 is $31,139. I will add a little bit about the remediation project and how that's going. We have hauled off all soils that needed to be hauled off. All hot spots have been removed and cleared. And so all the soil that had to go to Oklahoma is resting in Oklahoma now. And as of now, we're looking to add a savings that should more than cover these costs on the project. So we're somewhere in the either November or December meeting, we should be bringing forth the final amendment to the HIS contract for their work out there.
Okay, questions of Adam?
Yes, that's really encouraging. Thanks. There also have been an interest from some in the community about a particular cottonwood tree that some claim may be the oldest tree in the city. Who knows? Wasn't around that long, but and you were able to work around that and save that tree. Any comment?
Truthfully, that tree is not on JPA property, but it's
Close.
most definitely are. So we did our best to kind of bench back where we were digging to stay away from it. So it
Great.
didn't impact it.
Appreciate
We'll
that.
probably have tiny seedlings all over the property next spring.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Does that added expense do anything to change your numbers at all, Steve?
No.
So we're still on budget with everything? The soil that you disposed of, is that being disposed of appropriately and properly?
Yes, everything that was hauled off site was either hauled off to G&P landfill, which is a local landfill, or it went off to the higher contaminated levels soil. That all got hauled off to Oklahoma to Clean Harbors facility down there. So the idea is whatever got hauled off will never end up in a place where it could have adverse impacts to the area. So we're doing capping operations right now, and then it'll get topsoil, and we probably probably about a week and a half from now, we should be hopefully seeding the property with some grass and some cover crops for the winter.
Some cottonwood seeds too?
Yeah. They'll come. There's lots of little ones out there when we started.
Clean Harbors
Yep.
in Oklahoma. So they clean the harbors in Boston and dump it in the prairie of Oklahoma. All right, is there,
Let's get back to work.
is there public comment on this particular item? Please come forward if there is. Seeing none, is there a motion on WH 16-14?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve. Further discussion? Call the roll.
Beitler,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. Moving on to agenda item number 11, WA 1615, resolution to approve the right-of-way agreement between the JPA and Lumberworks Lofts LLC. Tim C's here from our city law department to talk about that.
Yes, this is Tim C. from the City Law Department. This is a right of entry agreement for the property that surrounds the Lumberworks parking garage at approximately Canopy Street and Ann Street. The developer has been chosen to develop that property, and they just would like to do some due diligence work to make sure that there are no environmental concerns or soil conditions that would require them to do some extra work. So this is an agreement that would allow them to go on site, do some borings, make sure that the soil is what they need it to be, and I think it goes until the middle of November of 2016. So I'll just ask you to approve that.
Okay.
Questions, comments? Carl?
When, do you know when construction is anticipated to start?
I believe construction will start, I think, in the spring, but I can't say that off the top. I can't say that for certain. There's some other agreements that have to get put in place before we'd be ready for that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Tim. Is there public comment on agenda item number 11? If not, is there a motion to approve WH 1615?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Further comment? Did I afford the opportunity for public comment?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion to, any further comment from you, gentlemen? Okay, call the roll.
Beitler,
Yes?
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
Yes. Agenda item number 11 is approved. Agenda item number 12, WH 1616, resolution of intent with respect to Lot 1 of West Haymarket Second Edition and the Unified Plaza Design Concept.
Rick Fay of the State Law Department. Purpose of this resolution is to express the intent of the JPA that we are supportive of a unified public plaza to be built on the space occupied currently by the TDD Phase 3 building occupied by Huddle and Nelnet as the primary tenants on the south half of the block, or actually a new lot now, Lot 2, and then the north half of that lot is still owned by the JPA. There was a three-party agreement between the JPA, TDD Phase 3, and the city to have that JPA sell that property for the Huddle project. Terms of the agreement required a unified plaza area so that when the second building is built, there'll be a plaza that can serve a larger group of people and be a unified design. And so went back to the redeveloper, they've submitted a design that's deemed acceptable to the city, but it needs to go through a public process by the Urban Design Committee. We just wanted to put this on your agenda today to get that expression of intent, authority to submit that design to Urban Design for review. Questions?
The Huddle building obviously is well underway. Will the plaza be built in conjunction with that, or will it be?
I think the space is going to be held open. It'll probably just be put in more grass-like, simple design and landscaping until such time as we get a building to come on the other side. You don't want to put something in and tear it up and then not have the two pieces be able to fit together well. So
Okay.
I think it's designed or desire to build it at one time, serve both buildings. And it's hopefully, I think everybody's hoping that Huddle would expand their site someday and actually take over both spaces. But in case they don't, we wanted to ensure that a future owner or operator of that other building would be aware of the situation.
And everybody from Huddle's on board with what you're,
That's
what
my
you got.
understanding, yes. Involved in the process.
Okay, no further questions?
No.
Is there public comment on agenda item number 12? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve WA
So moved.
16-16? It's been moved and
Second.
seconded. Any further questions or comment? If not, call the roll.
Beitler,
Yes.
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. Agenda item number 13, without objection, we'll just set the next meeting date for Thursday, October 27th, 2016, 3:30 PM in this building at the Bill Luxford Studio, first floor. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Before we do that,
Uh-huh.
can we recognize Mr. Hubka?
That's a good idea.
Lead the way.
All right. Just, Steve has been incredibly helpful to me in my short time on the JPA, and just always, if there are questions about any finances, he's got the answers, or he'll get the answers quickly. Really appreciate the service that he's given to the city, not only with the JPA, but in all things. And I think certainly an important part of the solid ground that the arena has, and the whole JPA has had, is in large part due to Steve's great leadership. So very much appreciated.
Thank you, Carl.
Yes.
Yeah, I just add I appreciate your integrity and your character and your ethics in helping move this forward.
Thank you.
And for myself, I don't really think he can handle too much praise at once. So since he has a little reception going on Friday night, I'm going to save my ammunition for that night. But we're all very sad about this transition. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call the roll.
Beitler,
Yes,
Eskridge.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes.
we are adjourned.